Hello everyone, I hope you're well today. These episodes of Mental Programming for Success are being seen and heard more and more, and it's because they really have very powerful information to help you reorient your life and your professional success, which makes me really happy and makes me want to continue giving you information and material so that you can make the most out of your mental faculties. Now, in this episode, we are going to talk about your relationship with work and what is the mental programming or the mental mapping that you have on your unconscious that defines your ideal job, and obviously where are you in relation to it. Now, basically, why do you work so much? Now, here I address to men and women who are in a job that absorbs you a lot. Now, if you are one of those who finish your job and you keep thinking about that team or that project or those deliverables or that meeting that defines so many things, now this episode is for you. Now, let me explain you something. As individuals, we are integral beings who appear in different roles in different areas of our lives. Now, work life is just one of them. Your social area, family area, your couple life, your physical, mental, and spiritual area are others. We are not always mentally or emotionally available in the same way for all areas. This happens, it's fine. What should not be normal is that one area of your life, and in this case we're talking about work, encompasses so much that it invades you or your other areas of your life simply because you cannot separate them. Now, here is the problem, and that is why it is necessary to define that relationship that you have with work, and especially to understand what is that mental mapping that you have that predominates in all your actions. So for this, we're going to analyze different aspects. The first thing is, how many hours do you dedicate to work? Now, listen to this. It is important to make the difference between working hours and extra working hours. Now, the working hours corresponds to the hours of the day that you spend physically working. That is from the moment you have the first interaction with someone or something related to work, the first call, the first email, the first greeting in the office, etc., until you finish that working day with your last interaction. Now, what I like to call here the extra working hours are the hours that you allow yourself to continue thinking and talking about work with other people or with yourself outside of your official working hours. Now, if you think about these two things, working hours and extra working hours, tell me something. How many hours do you work? And please leave me some comments below so that you see that you are not the only one who spends such a long time thinking about work. Now, number 2, how much is your time worth today? Now, here we talk about a sensitive topic, the monetary value for your physical, mental, and emotional presence. If you're a freelancer, I'm sure you already have an hourly rate calculation. If it's not the case, and if you charge per project, then I invite you to count the hours you spend on it so that you know the value of your real time. If you're an employee, listen to this. I recommend you to do this simple calculation. Take your monthly salary and divide it by the number of working days, then divide it by the average working hours you do plus the extra working hours that you calculated before, and get that number. This is what your hour is worth every time you think about work. Are you happy with that number? Do you think that your time, your intellect, and your qualities are worth that? Do you think that that amount covers the opportunity cost of spending more time physically and mentally on something else or with somebody else? Well, I tell you that, whether you like it or not, this is what is worth your time and your energy right now. Now, number 3, what is your current job for? Now, let's see how fulfilling are those hours you spend at work. For this, I'm going to ask you to list the reasons why you are mentally and physically in this job position. Now, for example, it could be because you need to pay for your lifestyle, or maybe because you like your job, or maybe because you get along well with your coworkers and you like to spend your time there. Or maybe because you're working in such a good company and that name and that place is very good for your career background and everything. Or because that's how you like to spend your time. Or maybe because it's a personal challenge. Or maybe because this is what you study and you don't have any other option. Or maybe you're still there because you haven't found something better. Or any other reason. So let's see, what are your reasons? What do you take with you each day when you finish working, and how does that work make you feel? What is your takeout as an individual? I'm not asking you what do you leave in the company? What do you do for them? No, that's not it. What's in it for you? Here the answer can be qualitative or quantitative, but the most important thing is to be aware of what you get from those many hours that you counted before. And number 4, what does this work mean to you? Here, what I would like you to think about is what work represents for you. You can do this reflection in an emotional level. Let me give you a real example. I have a client who loves his career. He's super excited to learn more about his area. He always studies and investigates things regarding his area. He speaks so passionately about what he does. So work for him represents passion, emotion, and personal growth. You could also reflect this from a more practical point of view. For example, I have another client who is in a career change process and who sees his current job as a vehicle to reach his next goal. It's a way of temporary livelihood because he needs the money to support himself. And in this case, his current job means just an economic mean. So depending on what the job means to you, you can choose a different action plan regarding those many hours that you spend there, both physically and mentally. And when you ask yourself how to reorganize the hours and the energy that you give to that job, you will see something different. Because if your job brings you a lot emotionally, your working hours and extra working hours are well paid, and your job means something positive and constructive for you, then there is really not a problem if that area of your life covers a good part of you. But if your work doesn't leave you much, the price paid lowers the value of your time, and on top of that, work represents only a mean to you, well, you really don't need to dedicate so much to it. And it's up to you to make that conscious effort to know when and how to stop. Now, answer these 4 questions and come up with an action plan, and I promise you it works. I promise you that you will see a change in your energy as well as in your mental and emotional ability for other areas of your life. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to this YouTube channel or to the podcast, because there's more super powerful episodes that I'm creating constantly, and I promise you they will change your perception of your career and they will boost your professional life exponentially. Now I remind you, my name is Jessica Rojas Liscano. I'm also on Instagram and on LinkedIn, where I constantly post tips to boost your professional life and where I like to interact with people as well. So I'll see you in another episode.